be going live. Got everything started. Let's see. Got the DJI going. Connected to the phone, connected to the tablet, connected to YouTube. Should be live. Quick Instagram story. What's up, fishing fam? We are here live from West Boggs. Let's shut up and get the fishing. Head on over to the Fish with Grams YouTube channel. Come fishing with me for, I don't know, a good while here out on West Boggs today. Gonna go try to find a 5-pounder on one of these Hags prickly pears. Let's go! What's up, fishing fam? We are here live from West Boggs. Posting. Good to go. Let's go to Freedom Squad and be all live. With Jeremy too. Alright, made a video. I want to catch one on one of these Hags prickly pears. Alright, put the phone down. Cameras are open. Camera got to come over here and get on the chesty. But first, we got to protect from the cancer. Get our nice shelter hat on. Let's get our camera on the chesty, microphone. Check out my stream setup tablet so I can read your comments. Got my microphone up here with the wind muff on it so you guys can get some quality audio. And then back there's the old Gramps net, the Starlink that lets us come live from anywhere. Of course, the obligatory crotch shot for the granny fan. I should start a Only Gramps channel. I'm gonna hear that in the comments. It's Only Gramps. Alright, let's push off and get the trolling motor down. We're gonna start here first because I'm gonna tie this Hag's prickly pear on, catch me a fish. I need to get off this dock and get out the way. Just shot a video for something that is awesome for you guys to throw the Hags, the koikis and so forth. Let's get off the dock without falling in. Of course, I put myself out there at the end where this. Granny, you don't see anything. Granny isn't doing anything sketch. Wrap. Buck ducks, shrimps. Back over here. What do you guys think of the old chest with the microphone and the tablet? Sweet setup. That's right. There ain't no live scope. There ain't no spot lock. Ain't none of that. We just fish. Start right here. I'm going right over along this bank and start right there. Of course, this wind's trying to blow me in the spot. Let's see if we can get some hummingbird action going. We got anybody in the chat yet? Ooh, I need to tighten this up a skosh. Tighten that up a skosh. There we go. Oh, no smallies today. We got Shane in the chat. This is a largemouth lake. So we got a good chance in some 2 and 3 pounders and the occasional 5. Get lucky a 6 or even a 7 once or twice a year. I think probably 5 is maybe my biggest out of this lake. But this lake has been drained twice in the last several years, and they were trying to cut down on the shad population. But yeah, let's. I don't want to catch one on one of these Hag's prickly pears. Now, I just did a video on this box, what I consider the solution look for that to come out this weekend. But let's go ahead and bust out the old morning dawn. Since I already got it pre-rigged up, I pulled the top thing off. Pull that wire out and just super glue these tops on there. Yeah, I got for a review for this box for storing your prickly pears, your koikis, your amoebas, anitas, cat toys, COVID baits, all the stuff and things. Great concept. Let's get it back there out the way. Get this bad boy, tie it on, and then work up this bank. Always start here at the ramp. For those, tournament release fish that are still hanging around. Today's Friday. There was probably a tournament Tuesday night or Wednesday night or Thursday night or who knows. But this is the only ramp on the lake where they do the weigh-in, so good possibility of something hanging around the boat ramps. So I am going a little more heavy duty with my prickly pear setup. If you watch the video I dropped this week, noticing a lot of the Bassmaster pros and some of the other guys, they are fishing these with Texas rig gear because it is a heavy 19mm bait. Plus you're putting a nail weight or something in there to get it to fall, because if you don't, they will float. But you can put different size weights in based on how you want it to fall in the water. So you see I got the Morning Dawn on. That might be a good color for this crappy colored water here at Boggs. I might go to the green pumpkin here in a bit because this is a bluegill forage lake. Going for the big boys, that's right. I've seen everybody else catching monsters on these things, so I'm going to put this thing in my hand. I think we've got, what is it, a little after 9? Can't see where it's after 10. I've got probably 6 hours to fish today. I've got a VA appointment this afternoon that I got to get up there before they close at 4, so I got to get off the water around, 2-ish or so here. But I did a video on my heavy duty setup. The hooks that I'm using for this, the weights that I'm using, and then the baits themselves. Be sure to go watch that if you haven't yet. I'm gonna get my side cam going too in case we get, a giant. We want some more footage of it. I kind of would have pushed that camera back towards the driver's seat a bit, so I don't whack it with my fishing pole while we're casting. Give me a second while we get the other camera too is for backup. We're just going to turn you so that you line with the pole and go that way. There we go. Tight. Now we're cooking. Now we have a backup camera just in case. Alright, let's get the things out of the way of our feet. Put our phone up here to the front and get to fishing. This actually works out well. The wind's blowing me. I like fishing this whole bank, so I'm going to go down here and then work my way up. We're on the point, and then we're just going to do a milk run to the places I normally fish while we're here. I got to get this little wind knot out of my line anyway, so I'm just going to let this bait fall and pop it right onto that stick. Looks like I pulled up the whole stick. Let's go get that. I can't get a bass to come take it off of there for me. You know me, if there's a stick around, I'm gonna find it. But again, that's why I got this heavier duty hook on here. because we want to catch a big. We beefed it up. We beefed it up. There we go. Alright, back on out of chow. See, I need to make a long cast to get this wind knot out. Let me make a cast with the wind. We're just going to go down to the end of these rocks and hit this whole section. We'll let this log clear back up. As we come back, what's our angle look like? Let's see, I probably want to point this down just a skosh. Point it down a skosh. There we go, get y'all in the action. Let's make a long cast. This little knot out of my line. Got people out here camping already. It's Friday, probably doing a three-way weekend thing. Got somebody up there getting her walk on. Out here in this beautiful weather. I think it's supposed to be up in the mid-80s today. Don't have any rain in the forecast this weekend. Figured I'd get here, get a few hours in today. Might try to sneak down to Patoka again tomorrow and get back on that smallie chase. I don't know if they're having any tournaments or whatnot down there. I hate going to places that I know are going to be loaded on the weekend. Is that a fish? Oh, there's a fish right there, gang. There's a fish right there. We have got our first quickie fish on. Let's see if we can get him in the net. Let's see if we can get him in the net. Come on. Gramps with a kayak net. There we go. First quickie fish on the board. Looky there, looky there. We ain't but a few minutes in. We got a fish on the board. Let's go. Looks like about 1.5 pounds. 1.5 pounds. Quickie ran right up the line perfectly. I'll try to get out here away from the stuff and things so we can drift while we take a look at it. There we go, gang. There you go, live action right here on a Friday. Right here on a Friday. Our first fish on the quickie. Look at there, hooked right in the corner of the mouth. Right in the corner of the mouth. Look at that stout hook right there. That wasn't going nowhere. Get you guys so you can see it. I'm gonna run this quickie back down to it just so see I can take a picture and people see what I caught it on. Looky there, looky there. We'll do a quick social media post. Hey, old Gramps with a quickie fish. Let's get the right brand. Let's do a favor. Hey, Gramps with a bass on the prickly pear. From Hags, let's go. First one. All right. Look at there. That stout hook, that fish wasn't going nowhere. Pinned. Love it. All right, let's get him back in the water. There we go. There we go. I love this lake. What's up, Scoob Dog? Welcome back. Just got our first one. Let's go. First one. All right, that's what I'm talking about. That's how you start the day. That's what I love about Boggs, man. It's just one of those places where, you know, you don't always catch the giants, but you can catch some good ones. And it makes for a fun day of fishing. But yeah, our hook went right through there just fine. It ran up the line, just like it would on a, you know, a Nico. So let's see if I can. I got to remember to do video so that I can then take pictures of it because I goofed that up. we go. All right, now I can turn around and get back to. Or shoot, I'm just gonna work these docks on our way. Bucktail says listening and driving. Where you driving to, homie? You out working today? You going fishing somewhere? I know it's Friday. You guys know I work 4 10-hour days a week, then I'm off on Friday, so that's my primo fishing day. But yeah, started out the day, I mean, with first bass on the morning dawn. Hag's prickly pear. Let's see if we can grab some more. 7 foot of water out here. Get up here and run this rock bank again. All right. That felt good. Fought good. Old Gramps catching some fish. Didn't think I'd be on the water all year, and here we are, West Boggs, in the boat. In the boat. I still prefer crappie fishing out of the boat. Rather be bass fishing in the kayak. But you know, we'll get another kayak at some point. But we're blessed. We're in the boat. No scoping. No spot locking. Just fishing. Just fishing. Oh, he says he's in Virginia to fish. That's what I'm talking about. What's going on this weekend? Is there an event? I know there's always something going on. I know Bassmaster is out at Clear Lake in California. Saw Steve-O out there. I need to tighten that up. See, they say you can't, you know, backlash with a DC reel. Bullshit. You still gotta tune your tunings in. Oh, that reminds me. I got these little. Let's go. Let's see. We're on. Oh, was this supposed to be on F for fluorocarbon? I don't remember. Let's give it a couple more breaks. We'll go ahead and clear this little backlashy out. Got some loops in here. I haven't fished this stuff. I'm still running the same line I ran last year. You would think with being off the water for 9 months, I would have taken the time to, you know, clear my gear and whatnot, but I didn't. Didn't touch anything. I didn't want nothing to do with it. I was depressed. Battling the depression. Not admitting to myself that it was a little bit of depression, but that's okay. We're back. We are back. Still don't have all of our cognitive abilities yet, but we're getting her dialed in. All right, let's move you over this way. I'm going to adjust this to the bait itself. I want a little more flinging, but a little more magnets. There we go. Right on the edge of the rocks. Just what I wanted. Just what I wanted. I need to slide some in over by that little dot too. Of course, that's where I caught that first one at. It's about a 16-incher. Forgot to put them on the board. Guess I should get the board out for today, so we can get some measurements. I gotta get off my chair and get down there and get the bottom of this well to get this measuring board out. Got the old fish with Gramps. More than in here. Figure out how to get it out. There we go. Here's the way you latch out. Of course, I need a tether on this one, but it's on there anyway. Alright, there we go. Catch more. There we go. Free squad on the front, fishing Gramps on the side. I just left that hard to find bait in the water, dangling. Probably shouldn't do that. Let's get back over here around this dock and get to working. In Virginia to go fishing. All right, let's go. Let's see if we can find somebody else hanging around. Hell yeah, that's a great way to start the day. Right out the bat, 15 or 16-inch bass. Probably about 1.5 pounds. I was so jacked I barely even took a picture of it. I think I'm gonna be able to skip Let's go ahead and work up this bank a little. Heck yeah, what a great way to start the day. I want to get this right up on the edge of the rocks, because these bass will be up there smashing those bedding bluegill. And that's what I'm counting on. So we'll be fishing a lot of the edges today. When it heats up, we get out in the summer. Oh, that was another bite. But that might have been a bluegill pushing my bait off its bed. That was like a tap of a bluegill versus a bass. He just was somebody who didn't want them on his bed. Oh, that feels good. Feels good to get warm. Maybe motor down a little bit. Of course, I would have somebody behind me mowing today, but you know, it is what it is. I ain't gonna lie, I love the smell of fresh cut grass anyway. Ah, we are out here. Didn't think we'd be out here all year. That was really messing with my mind. Here we are, catching bass on the prickly pear. Oop, let it sink down on the rocks a little bit. Yeah, my goal is to get right up on the edge of the rocks, get one of them bass that's out there getting revenge on the bluegill who are on the bed, getting revenge on them for them, the bluegill messing with the bass beds. So we should be in a post-bass spawn pattern since the bluegills are spawning and the bass are munching up on them bluegill. Boy, it feels good to catch one right off the gate. We're just going to try to catch a limit today and then catch some bigs, see how it goes. Really want to fish a bunch with this koiki. I haven't caught a chatterbait fish yet this year either, so I might pick that up a bit. Gotta quit calling it a koiki. It's a Hagg's prickly pear. Gotta give credit where credit's due. Hagg's is a company in Texas. Yeah. I'm gonna order and test out various types of these silliness. I actually need to tie one of the fuzzy nugs on a drop shot, because on this lake that would probably do well. That would probably do well as well. Might do that before we get over by the restaurant, but we'll throw this for a while. Oh yeah. Scoop's doing some house maintenance, replacing the dishwasher. I get you. See if there's anybody around this log hanging out. I'm kind of going to run a similar pattern that I normally would if I was fishing a kayak tournament here. I just cover water, but I've got specific spots that I like. I've kind of got it timed up. Of course, I'm, probably 4 hours behind where I would normally be fishing this stuff from when I would during the tournament, because, those normally would get on the water at 6. But I've kind of got it timed out where each area should be doing a thing as I'm kind of going through it. I remember there was a stick. You see the stick up right there where we were a minute ago. Let's check under this lay down, see if there's anybody hanging out under there. And I'm just kind of fishing this like a combination Senko jerk bait. I'll let it fall. I'll give it some pops like a jerk bait, and then let it fall like a Senko. But I got to get closer to the rocks. Then bass will be pushing them bluegill right up on the rocks. There's a lot of that gooey stuff on those rocks, so that's a good thing about this being TPE is it does, it kind of floats right above it. But yeah, my goal is to not throw it up there in the rocks, but then we go throw it right up to the rocks. almost want to make it look like it jumped in the water right there, but we're chasing those fish that are chasing those bluegills right up on the very edges. So still don't quite have my casting thumbs down yet. There's another fish. There we go, just like we called it. See if we can. Oh, he got off. I was gonna boat flip him, and then I was like, I'm not sold and confident on boat flipping yet. But that was about a 12-incher. I probably had the momentum to boat flip him. He probably would have came off in the boat, but that's all right. I'm still a little apprehensive on hook sets, but I've just got to relearn. Got to tell myself that I'm okay to do this, and I'm okay, but I'm still not convinced of that until I get this hernia surgery done. I think my wife's a little perturbed that I'm going to wait till the off season. I think I found another stick. I did. That I did. Boat flips only. Yeah, I'm just not that dude, man. When you're fishing with a $650 rod, you know that it's gonna, it can handle it. I just don't have that technique down. I've spent so many years fishing in my kayak and just hitting them with a net that, because I just don't boat flip in the kayak. And so it's hard for me to convince myself that it's okay to do that. But I mean, I literally was watching videos last week on, boat flipping. But oh, Lord. Yep. I don't know what it is. It's just like I just have no confidence in doing it. I just netted them or hand landed them for so long. I've lost. And I know part of me in the back of my head, it's from some of my tournament days back when I was younger, where we would kind of boat flip and we wasn't using nets, and I had fish come off, before they got over the gunnel of the boat. And it's just like, no, I'm not doing it. Got that one on the back side of the rocks. There we go. I'm casting into the wind now, so I need a little more break on. Yeah. I do not have this dialed in the best that it can be. So I'm fighting with this wind. I need to kind of figure out the combination of goodies with this one. Alright, come on, boat. Ooh, what did I do? I got that wrapped around the end up there, almost through the bait. There we go. The wind picked up on me, which I should have known. There we go. That's a good cast in the right spot. Get a little more juice on the old trolling motor. See if we can pick off another one. Got to remember to set the hook too. Drive the hook. I'm still a wuss because of my hernia, so I'm just like still being a little wuss over it. But I mean, I told my wife I'd be careful. You know how that goes. Now where I'm going to be going after this, the wind will generally be working with me because I'll be kind of going into it, up with it. We're going to go hit this dam here in a little bit, or work our way around to it, but there's some good fish over that way too. But I'm just looking for some of these tournament release fish around the boat ramp, and then we're going to get out and get on it. I can pick off, some of these 3-pounders, 4-pounders. See if there's anybody hanging around. I always do that. Hanging around a bit from rounders. You would think with the little fish I wouldn't mind boat flipping, right? It's like, no, I'm scared. And then I didn't drive the hook in him and lost him anyway. Uh-oh. Oh, that was a something. Get my line off my trolling motor. That was a somebody gave me a little love tap right there. See if he's still there. See if he is still there. I guess I could have this Senko as a follow-up, but hey, I'll just let this fall like it was a Senko. Oh, somebody rubbed the boat on something. I heard that. Still got to get this a little closer to the rocks. I want it landing right on the edge of the rocks. I want to be right in the bass's nose. How's the audio and video today? Everything good? Everything looks good? You guys let me know. Drop me a G for Gramps if you're watching. It helps YouTube, you know, show that there's people interacting and so forth. And plus, you know, I want to talk to y'all too. I got to know you're in here. I can't see what like the live count and all that stuff is in this version of the view. So if you guys are dropping something in the chat here and there, it lets me know that you're watching. Yeah, see, we're just... I should almost pull out my heavier spinning rod and do that too. I'm gonna keep on backlashes in this wind. I could probably skip this with my heavier spinning rod as well. I might do that. I might put a spinning rod, my medium that I use for Senkos. Then I can skip it up on these rocks. Looks and sounds great. Excellent. Got this a little too close up in the rocks again, so we're going to go get this since these baits are still hard to find and get. Yeah, got to be a little... Gotta force it and get it right up on there, but I might be able to skip a little better. I might put a small jig on this and put that on one of my heavier rods. We might go do this before we move. Just because of this wind. Alright, where are you at? He went right down in the stuff. So we're gonna have a closer encounter of the rocky kind here in a second. Might not be able to get any closer. Come on now, I don't want to have to get out and get that. Alright, we're gonna have to play the game here. I don't have one of those good trolling motors that you lift up the cable and hold it and do all that. I got this silliness. I am going to switch this up. I'm going to grab, we'll go ahead and cut off the Senko. Go ahead and cut off the Senko. Oh, let me get the pole. Cut off the Senko. Grab a prickly pear. Which is fine because I want to put a little finesse jig on anyway for some of these. Just because we're battling the wind so much, we'll make this a little easier on ourselves. banging off of some of these mooring poles out here in the middle of the thing. But yeah, I'm going to go to the heavier spinning rod, my Senko rod, just because we got so much wind. That's the problem with early June. It's one of those things, we get so much rain forever and then we just get a ton of wind. So let's get this knot over here. Line all down the bottom of the bait. Get you up here and get off the Palomar. Get that loop above the rest of the stuff. And pull tight. There we go. Now we're cooking. Make sure I cut off the right one. Alright, there we go. Got that one ready to go. That'll make it a little easier casting in the wind. So this is my Loomis NRX Plus. Yeah, it's way overkill for what we're doing. But this is the extra fast medium. You can do a medium heavy fishing these baits too. Scoop says we look and sound good. Everybody says we look and sound good. Right, feeling good, looking good. Let me go ahead and grab one of these little power bait jobbers along with a small jig. We got another kayaker coming out. Another kayaker coming out. That's awesome. Let's see. Need. Go with the finesse. Strike King 1/4 ounce. With one of these Super Troopers. Orange on there to kind of get their attention. Skirt down a bit. Still brand new, I haven't trimmed the skirt up yet. In the boat. I'll vacuum that out later. Alright. This way we can slow down and fish a jig as well. Catch it on a jig, it'll be a pig. There we go. Putting this on because some of those points we're going to be hitting as we get through here. There we go. Get him back on here. I'm just going to go right back over to the bank and work our way back up there. Since we missed most of it with the dang wind blowing anyway. Get this tied on and we'll just grab that, prick the pair and go right back up through all that. Wind's really picked up now. I'm going to have to put a motor up a little higher because it's kind of got us now. Oh, yeah. Why can't I get my line through there? One of the little hairs was running through there. I tell a lot of people, don't use a polymer knot on fluorocarbon unless you know the trick, and that is to bring this loop above everything else and make sure it's at the top of the stack, because if you don't, the line can cut into itself. I'm still watching to see who's in the kayak. Anyway, I gotta get that loop above. There it is. Boom. Check our tension. There we go. We'll set you back here and grab our prickly pear again. He's telling him where to go on the boat. All right, let's get back over to the bank and get to fishing. Everybody tell me where you're watching from. I am in southern Indiana on West Boggs Lake. It's got some good 3 to 5 pound bass. You'll catch the occasional 5, 6, or 7 pound even. I think somebody even weighed in an 8 pounder earlier this year. Those are few or far between. This is a lake that was drained twice over the last, I think, 15 years. They were trying to kill out the shad. And, you know, they kept a lot of the big bass in here too, but they also restocked it. But this used to be like a monster bass lake. And I mean bigs. Bigs. But, oh, there's a fish right there. All right, let's go. Let's see what we can get here. See if we can boat flip. Yeah. Oh, just drove him right into the thing. Let's try this again. Yeah, we suck at the boat flips. Up and over. All right. There's our first boat flip of the year. There we go. There, look at there, look at there. This is about average size of these, but yeah, there's some good ones there too. You got an old town or just in, I can't tell. You might be loading up, I might have missed all that. Grab a quick picture. Camera, photo. There we go. Number 2 on the Hags prickly pear. Right up on the bank, just popping it. Looking good, looking good. Look at there, Gramps catching fish, live action. Live action bassing. Now we just need to get some of them bigger ones. No trailer on the jig. Yeah, I put a trailer on. I got a Berkeley Super Trooper. Where'd it go? Let's switch rods while we're moving up. But yeah, I got a finesse jig, Strike King 1/4 ounce tungsten, and then there's the Berkeley Super Trooper with the max scent. But yeah, need to trim that up a little more. I like my finesse jigs to be finesse. I fish with big jigs a lot too, but I have really grown partial to fishing a finesse jig a lot. I like the Strike King tungsten. I like the old, what do you call them? The Strike King Bitsy Bug is my all-time favorite. But then the oh, what's the tungsten ones? Sorry guys, my power recall still kind of sucks. Man, I can see them. Oh well. Anyway, one of the finesse jig tungsten makers that they carry at the rod locker. That wind is going to be hell. No wonder Jeremy went to the other end of the lake so he can get out of it. Thought I had another bite there for a second. Hopefully my wind muff is working okay. You guys can still hear me okay. That's why I wanted to make sure I had an external mic with a wind muff on it to try to... It might not sound as windy as it hears to you, but if I took that wind muff off, you guys would be, oh, damn. All right, there's some nice grass looking there. But yeah, I like those Berkeley Super Troopers on the back of a finesse jig, and then I like the little Troopers on the Neds. All right, let's go ahead. I want to get around the dam. I know I can catch fish here. Let's go and get that grass off the old prickly pear. Which is good I did that because we got to get our hook back up where it's supposed to be. Get this hook back up here. Back up in the spot. There we go. Oh, I'm too far away now. Yeah, that wind is really cranking now. I need to get this bait over there off of that point. Beast Coast, thank you. That's the one. See, you guys know. You watch my channel enough to know what I throw when I can't. My power recall just is not there yet. We'll get there someday. My doc said it could take up to 3 years for that anesthesia from being out for almost 12 hours to kind of get my brain back right. I got a test for work I need to take, and I've bombed it twice. Because I'm trying to take it when my mental is not not all the way there. I can still do my job, but it's just my power of recall on things is kind of goofy. I still mix words. I'll say one thing, and then I'll say something else that'll be like similar to it, but not quite it. But that's okay. I am alive. The heart is good. Ticker's ticking the way it's supposed to. What is it the song goes? Ticker ticking the way it should. A few dollars in a coffee can. That song was running through my mind the other day as Gran and I celebrated our 32nd wedding anniversary. I told her I will try to make this year a little less drama-free than last year. I owe that woman a ton. We have had our battles back and forth over the years with jobs, her fighting cancer a couple of times, beating the shit out of it, some mini strokes that affected her ability to do the job she wanted to do, which was being a nurse. She had to drop out of being almost all the way done at nursing school, but having a couple of strokes kind of killed her career path there, so she worked in home health care for a long time. And but yeah, we've had a long 32 years, but we are blessed with 4 wonderful kids, 3 lovely grandbabies. And I'm out here fishing. Did not think I'd be able to get to do this year. It'll come back, but at least I'm out. That's right. As long as I can remember how to tie a knot, right? I may forget to set the hook. But man, I'll tell you what, yes, I am out here, and that is such a blessing. I was so down at the thought of not being able to get out here. There's a water snake over there swimming along those rocks. A lot of people in Indiana don't know better, but our common water snake, they'll mix it up with a copperhead. And so I've heard people screaming in kayaks and john boats when one of the water snakes comes swimming up to them. Because they think it's a copperhead. Because everybody, you know, all they know is copperhead and they're scared. But yeah, it's the way it goes. Can you guys hear the wind at all? Is that muff doing a good job of blocking it out? I'm talking a little extra loud because it's really pounding my ears. But I want to see what the audio is like for you guys. Kind of getting blown across this. I really like to slow down and fish this a lot because you can catch some good fish through here. When they get let go at the boat ramp, a lot of the times they'll either swim right out and go down like that way, or the fish that want to go out onto the main lake will kind of end up against this rock wall and then use it as a guide to go around and go back out. But so yeah, it's the fact that I've caught a couple fish here just in this little, you know, spot. 2 keepers too. I mean, that'd work on a derb day. That'd be 2 fish you'd want to have for sure. Kayak world, you know, we get our 5 on the board and then go upgrade. Still hear some? Okay. Good. Yeah. As long as it doesn't make the viewing things suck. I kind of want to stay live. I know if it gets to be too much, I'll shut the live off and just make a video that I can do a voiceover later. But I want to bring you guys live with me, put the Starlink to work, take you to places that, you know, we never get cell signal when we're on the water, and you know, catching fish, live action. That's my Turtle Man said, yee, live action. But we're gonna get around this corner and we're gonna get on a big motor and head on over to the restaurant. It's only, just right down the way, a couple minutes, but we'll get around this corner and see if anybody's hanging off this point. I love seeing my grubby friends fishing bogs out here. I love helping them, find fish because, sometimes for them, I've got friends who've never caught a limit and now they're starting to catch a limit and they're starting to, learn a little more. But if they're following along with my channel and, listen to the stuff that I'm the juice that I'm giving them, because there's better anglers out here that have shared juice with us and put it on video. It's not like I'm giving away secrets, but they kind of help us all out too. So I'm resharing some of what I've learned. And, if we get people out here in their kayaks having fun and, it gets to the point where they catch their limit and then they go and try to catch bigger ones. That's always the fun part. Tell me there's not a big one hanging on these rocks somewhere. I'm going to go along this bank until it bends and then we're going to move. We're just going to shoot over there. I could just stay on the trolling motor and act like I was in my kayak. I've got my battery from my kayak in here. It's a big 135 lithium battery, so it'll pull the boat around all day. I think I'm just going to go ahead and jet over to the campground real quick. We don't have to get up on fast plane, but it'd be a little quicker. This wind blowing into this bank, though, there's a good possibility of some bass staging up on it. Or, sitting there, because, bait fish are getting blown against the bank, too. The wind's blowing the sun flap on my hat against my ear, so now it's acting a little bit like a wind block. Yeah, this is blowing my bait back, so I'm going to save that. We're going to get on this jig here for a little bit and see if we can. Go ahead and get around the corner. I want to get where the wind's working for me. Saying that, I need to keep moving or the wind's going to blow me into the rocks. Alright, we're going to get on the motor and move up real quick. I'm going to turn it so this tablet stays. I go kind of quick. I want that wind to drive into the rocks. Alright, we're going to do this. Try to, yep. Worried about that. I need to get moving. Gotta go. Back. here. Alright, grab our prickly pear. This rocky bank around. We're going into the wind a bit. But we're gonna work these rocks. It's another one of my, I love these rocky banks, and bluegills will get right up on the edges of them. Turn my mic back this way just a skosh, so wind's not being as direct. Got my shelter hat on, protecting my head. My good friend Matt Kiefer put me onto these hats. Block the sun, block the wind. Cut it. Alright, we'll slow down a skosh. Stay off the bank a little bit. But this stretch is good for a 2-pounder or better most of the time. You just never know. Oops, cast that right onto the rocks. Alright, let's get turned and lined up. You can see the wind's blowing that banner up there on there. Oh, that's a hammock, I think. Yeah, it's blowing the breeze around and through. I think a lot of my friends are fishing derb down in bluegrass today. Oh, you know, tomorrow is the thing at the Rod Locker, like a customer appreciation thing. Oh, I actually saw somebody came up and hit that like twice, and then they missed it. Tomorrow's customer appreciation thing down in Evansville at the Rod Locker. Might be a good idea to run down there and then maybe go hit bluegrass. Is that a fish? I think these bluegill are. I think I'm on somebody's bed and they're coming out and pounding it because it's like a brrr. They're not eating it. But that's one thing I like about this bait is if you get bit, it's gonna be a big enough fish. I got a 3/32 tungsten nail bait in there. I've got some other stuff coming that I'm going to try too, and I've got a few different ideas of some that I'm going to make our own, but it seems like there's all kinds of different ways to fish these things. I need to tie a new leader on this anyway. I think I've got 15-pound fluoro and 10 or 12-pound leader maybe. Prickly pear that I found are made by Hags. I've got them tagged on Instagram, Hags, the Hags prickly pear. I'll be tagging them in my Instagram stuff later. And I think actually in that video that I did last night, I tagged Hags, or maybe it was Hags like on Dick's website or something, showing like what the product was, so if you wanted to buy one. But yeah, Hags is out of Texas. They make some bladed jigs, and they've got a very nice looking that I need to order. They got a very nice looking. It looks like a rage bug, but it's like longer. It's kind of like a rage. I would almost say it's kind of like a cross between a lizard and a rage bug, but it's got double legs with the flappers and so forth. But yeah, I'm gonna look at more of Hag stuff too, but. I know there's like G-Crack makes a version of these, but I think they're a little smaller. I've seen the Berkeley Amoeba, I think it was. I know Sixth Sense has got one. Yeah, we're really in that wind now. Let's turn my trolling motor up because we're not moving at all. We're basically spot locked. But I still want to fish. I want to fish this stretch around to the reeds, because I always catch a fish along this stretch somewhere. Really, it's just, this is like a highway for them. They'll cruise looking for crawls and bluegill. But hags makes the prickly pear that I use. If you look at the video I posted last night, you should be able to see the box. But I mean, there's so many making, like their versions of these. For me, it's like when I kind of get used to using one, that's what I kind of stick with, because then I know what the fall rate is, what kind of nail weights I want to use. I've got some other weights that I'm going to try out. I've got some things I'm going to concoct that I've ordered parts and pieces for that I'm going to put together. Try those out as well. But I shout out hags because that's who I have. Baits like these have been out for a long time. It's just they got real popular when other people started using them for, like, in different ways. A lot of people like the smaller ones for drop shot and stuff like that, where these are, more Nico rig, bait casting, Texas rig style, heavier. And I went back to a spinning rod. I'd rather throw it on bait caster. I went back to a spinning rod today just because of the wind. I don't want to change my jig setup on my finesse jig setup on the one bait caster that I've got, and then I've got a swimming jig on my Texas rig rod. So I just put this back on my Senko rod. I know we're going to catch one over here somewhere. That grass is just under the water's edge. And it gets kind of yucky. This is got that bleh, slimy stuff in there too. Nation mad at me because I'm around their babies. Their babies are nice and grown though. It's not like they're bitty bitty. The shallow part of this point. Surprised we haven't picked one up yet. I'm guessing we will between here and we get around this corner with these reeds. Should catch something. There's generally something cruising through here. I won't clear my bait. Generally, when I'm making a run like this, I also back off the point and throw a jig or drag a jig, something from shallow to deep. It's almost that time of year when I start sitting off these points and dragging football jigs and throwing big crankbaits. Here, fishy, fishy. Somebody's out there getting some swimming lessons. It's one of the younger ones out there in the water. Yeah, there's too much junky grass right through here. Throw that swim jig out there. We're going to save this for the dam in the spots where I know the grass isn't. Hook a sharp, that's for sure. Alright, let's grab that swim jig real quick and work this grass. There we go. Got my 6-cent swim jig on there with their paddle tail, the Divine Swim. Really good bluegill mimic. Yep, still grass. It's that yuck. We're gonna go ahead and move over by the restaurant. I think that's too much of this stuff that they sprayed that's trash. Let's go ahead and do that. We're just gonna motor over there to the restaurant and go catch the fish that are over there around the restaurant and the dam. There's a big one that I seem to lose on either one of those 2 points every damn year. I'm gonna get that some gun one of these days. Let's not fall while we're doing it. Bald eagle right there. Right there. Two little birds are done. So freedom bird. Let's go. Freedom bird. Okay, freedom bird. There you go, baby. Little birds are going to get jacked up. Big bird. Freedom bird makes my day. Let's friggin' go. Tails to the yeet. Freedom bird. Always want the freedom bird. Drives me absolutely insane. Like, no. Come on, dude. He got a fish and he's up on the, he just went up into the trees. Let's freaking go. Alright. I just picked up the chatterbait. Yeah, we see the freedom birds out here quite often. Makes my absolute day. Makes my day every time. Alright. Let's get our feet set so we can run this trolling motor. Now I'm going to work this point and swim this swim jig back because there's a brush pile between me here and there. Kind of want to get around the corner, but work the point between here and there too. The wind's kind of blowing right along my rod length actually, but I want to get where I can get up to shallow and bring it deep. I'm not going to bother pulling the anchors out and sitting still today. We're just going to keep on moving. Try to move the boat that way and the wind keeps taking me back the other direction. Good thing about this hag is the old prickly pear. as buoyant as it is, it'll kind of stay on top of those rocks. A lot of times I will throw an L-bill crankbait through this, just because it keeps it above the sludge, that slimy, sloshy, nasty stuff that gets right, around the rocks. But it kind of keeps it in play. But it kind of keeps it up there in the strike zone, even though I got to get it a little closer to the rocks. But we should get bit here somewhere. I got to find the right speed with the trolling motor and this wind, so I can kind of slow down and do it, but not get blown around too much. I'm gonna keep casting until I can make the right cast right up within a couple inches of the bank. I want it sitting right on top of those rocks, but off of the slime. I think I got a fish. Yep, I got a bluegill. It's carrying it around. It's like brrrr. This wind is causing me some havoc. Havoc. It's one thing I like about having my kayak with the motor in the back, is I can get really precise control cruising the banks. Just got to keep casting over and over until I get the right cast right up next to the rocks, and then pop it. We're gonna catch a fish. Oh, we're gonna catch a fish. There's always good fish in here somewhere. Dial it up a couple more. Blowing us around all over the place. Anybody in the chat been awful quiet? Next to these reeds, catches a big one, catches a big one. The wind is really picking up. Got me going the wrong way. Casting backwards. It's pulling me in on what I'm trying to fish. Oh no, don't get in the reeds. Come on. Get off there. There we go. So much junk being pushed against the bank. All that loose dead grass is getting pushed up against there. Can't get a clean bait. On this dam and catch us some fish. There's the wind again. Get done finishing the dam and we go back in the back where Jeremy's at. I'm gonna go throw this under some docks. I gave Jeremy one that was green pumpkin, and I think he dyed it like a purple green pumpkin. It's kind of cool. Just waiting for that 5-pounder. I caught my first fish of the year last year in the spring. Was right up there. It was 5.5 pounds. Yeah, we got a few adventures in last year before we went down. Can't say it was a wasted season, that's for sure. Started out the year here with a 5-pounder, fished Caddo, got some big fish down there. Lost probably an 8-pounder on a frog. Oh, working hard. That was kind of cool though. Let's see, what else did we do? We got some good fishing in, got some kayak adventure series in. We had some fun. Took the babes creek fishing. Got Lila her first bluegill. Now we get to start all over with a brand new year. Just doing it a little bit later, and it did a little bit different way, but hey, we're doing it live now. Now, truth be told, opposite bank of where I'm at right now, the first trip out in the boat when I was kind of testing everything out, lost probably about a 6-pounder. Was still afraid to set the hook, but maybe we'll get lucky and find that bad boy here in a little bit. Probably takes about half an hour to get over there, but we're gonna fish all the way from here to there because this area holds fish year around. It's the dam. They'll come off out of the deep water. They'll push these fish up on the banks to eat. And they'll do it all through the day too. I mean, don't make guarantees, but we're gonna catch fish between here and the end of the golf course. My estimations, we'll probably catch at least 3 or 4. We'll fill out our limit for sure. I'm feeling pretty confident about that. Pretty confident. Look over to these rocks. 5-pounder. Be a good one on those big old hags. Guess I could put that chartreusey one on, but I kind of like the way this one looks in this water. I've got a green pumpkin one. I'm actually going to dip the tentacles into the dip, so it's like the green and chartreuse. I'll probably do that this weekend. Still being a little apprehensive. I got to get this right up on the rocks. I am not a trolling motor driving dude. I'm used to driving in with my feet, but in a different manner. So me and this boat's just doing like this. I'm trying to control it. Probably my brother tell me he's got a giant. That is. If you ain't on my contact list, you ain't getting an answer. Keep them coming? Yeah, I'm working on it. I like being able to go live, because then I don't have to edit, and I can save the videos for, reviews and first looks and, gear stuff like that. But probably when I get back into a kayak and I'm doing like tournament stuff, that way I can fish the tournament and then put out the video after that. But there'll be some other stuff that I do like regular videos on that I might not feel like busting out the old the Starlink with, but I'm really trying to use the Starlink since, I got a monthly fee of like $170, so I'm trying to get its money worth out of it. That's basically everything I make from YouTube anyway, so if doing the lives helps me bring in new viewers, and YouTube's paying for that service, then, so be it. I'm just trying to do things a little different, show you what I know. Of course today I'm really wanting to focus on this like prickly pear. I can show you and I can learn at the same time if it's one of those things that's that big of a deal. And so I'll put it in my hand for most of the day in places that I know generally hold fish, and not always do what I always do, because then I'm just doing what I always do. But showing you guys a new, I say new bait. You guys have seen this more than I have. They've been throwing it this, since last fall, I guess, when the jig head minnow was the thing last year and the year before. Now these cat toys are the new rage. But this is just me putting it in my hand and kind of seeing what the deal is. If we go catch a giant on it, then we'll be hyping it up like everybody else. Generally, I'll put a jig or a chatterbait in my hand or a Senko and just go to town. But hey, this is something else we can figure out, learn about. I know I'm gonna catch one up here as we go between here and the end of the golf course. Somebody's gonna be up here hanging around. Somebody gonna be up here. My brother's out scouting around some of his spots for the next grubby tournament here. I'm not sure when that is. It's probably going to be coming up before too long. But he's staying in touch with his fish. He won the first one he fished. So he's gonna do his stuff and things to keep in touch with the fish throughout the season, so he can try to get his first angler of the year up here. I think he was runner up here last year, if I remember. I was in third there for a while. I was in the running and missed the last bunch. Couldn't stay in it. Came down to like a point or two between him and Jim, who's been fishing here his whole life too. You know, people think, oh, Jeremy lives here. He's a shoe-in. No, he's only lived here a couple years. He's fishing against guys who scope and who also have fished here their whole lives. You know, Jeremy came out here some with my uncle as a kid, but you know, he fishes old school. Just, you know, he's got his graph for seeing how deep and all that side and stuff. But he's got to go against all the scopers too. You know, you got guys that understand and use the tech, and then guys that have been fishing their whole lives. But hey, Jeremy just loves being in the mix, and so do I, for, you know, reality. I love the scope because it shows me things, teaches me things that, you know, we thought we knew about bass. A lot of people won't see it that way. It's a cheater box. Can't cheating cheater. You're just cheating. But no, I'd rather learn more about the bass, you know, instead of just telling people the same old shit that we've been told for 50 years. Bass behave differently than we've ever thought. And when you can see them and what they're doing, and especially unlocking deeper bass, it's a whole new world. Whether or not they should use it in pro tournaments, that's on them. Those guys fish them, not me. I don't care. I'm not going to beat a scoper in a Bassmaster event, so I just go fish for my fish. You know, I'll have scope on during tournaments, but, you know, those guys, it's what they do for a living, you know. And so if you want to beat them, you better join them, or you're not going to have a shot. I mean, sure, somebody will go through and catch them every now and then without it, but it's rare. It is rare. But it is what it is. It's part of it. You know, if you want to get rid of forward-facing sonar, get rid of spot lock, get rid of power poles, get back to just fishing. You know, get back to dealing with the wind, and, you know, if you want to drop an anchor, then drop an anchor. But, you know, if you don't want the tech, take it all off. Don't just take off part of it. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize the piece for live scope is cheaper than an iPhone, and way cheaper than power poles and a spot lock trolling motor and all that. But they want to make it about, you know, their favorite guy can't catch them anymore because they just want it instinct based. They don't want to go put the time in to learn it because they felt they've already paid their dues. And maybe they did, but as they get washed out because they can't compete with the older dudes that figure it out, and the younger dudes that are learning with it, you know, they're going to start crying about it. I don't care either way. I want to see tournaments with more bigger fish caught. I don't want to, you know, I don't want to watch these guys do what I can do. Just come out here and throw at, you know, a brush, you know, and maybe catch a fish here. And that's boring as shit. What I'm doing is boring as shit. But, you know, I want to see the pros be a pro, learn the tech. You guys are sponsored by the best companies in the world, Garmin, Humminbird, Lowrance. Yet you won't sit down with their guys and learn shit? That's lazy. Them younger cats will, because them younger cats want to eat. Younger cats ain't going home and deer hunting and turkey hunting in the winter. They're going right back out to the lake. But you want to bitch about it? It's what it is. It is what it is. I just want to see dudes catch big bass and lots of them. That's what I think is cool. But, you know, they've got it some where you can use it for a little bit and some that you don't. Some you use it on some lakes, some that you do. You know, it is what it is. But, you know, the thing about it, I don't have scope out here today, so every fish that I catch will be a complete surprise. And I've been off the water so much, you know, I just have to go based on what I've known from the past. You know, we should be post-spawn. Bluegill have been spawning. I'm going to find a bluegill bed eventually and throw this up on it. And then get peck and then get a bass to bite it. But I might get a bigger bass since we're at coming up on noon. Midday is always good for big fish. You don't catch a lot of fish, but you're going to catch a big fish. Seems like everything 5+ pound I caught a lot of times was in the heat of the day. Yep, I thought I had one there, but that was me landing in the grass. This thing is doing a pretty good job. It's still, I can't really weedless it like I can a Senko, where I'll do a weightless Senko with a, you know, EWG hook. I kind of set it on top of the grass and pull it out. This is going to have the hook coming through and bringing the grass out with me, because it's 0 inches of water up there on the bank, and then I'm out in 8 foot right here. So I'm just trying to pop this out in a zone and see if I can't catch somebody cruising for a snack, a bluegill snack. But I mean, I can fish this kind of like a Senko. That's what's kind of cool about it. But again, I think as big as it is, if I get bit, I should have a shot at a good one. Should have a shot at a good one. This lake is known for having that like slimy dead grass because they spray this place a lot, right up on the rocks. But if you can stay right above them, that's why I love a Senko here so much, and that's why I'm kind of fishing this Senko like. But yeah, in this water, as you know, stained it is today from all the runoff and stuff from the recent rains, that black and blue looks really good. Like I said, I should bust out that green pumpkin, but I think this lighter color is pretty good too. I need to see if they have any like blood red, just, you know, colors that really stand out to the bass. We know they see reds and greens, so I don't know if they see this morning dawn as kind of like a lighter red. Somebody needs to make like an AI filter. What does this bait look like to a fish? What does this look like in, you know, foot of stained water, 3 feet of stained water? That'd be some cool use of AI. Yep, and a lot of, you know, casual anglers are like that, as far as like the no-tech thing. But for me, if you're a professional bass angler, then that's it, you know. But then, you know, you got plenty of guys on YouTube. You know, Richard Gene the Fish Machine, straight out the gate, one of the most popular dudes out there. Simple, you know, simple John boat, simple graph, just like I have here. You know, and he does that, and he makes a good living at it, doing that. You know, I've thought about doing that too. You know, just because, you know. But if I go fish bass tournaments, and you know, I got to play within the rules, and if dudes are scoping, then, you know, I got to have scope on the boat too. If, you know, I like fishing the tournaments, just, you know, see where I'm at, you know, and you know, let's be real. I'm not a guy who is going to, you know, travel the country and be a pro either boat or kayak, you know, tournament angler, you know. Can I go out and catch fish? Sure. I don't fish 300 days a year. I don't have weeks to spend on a body of water to really get it dialed in, you know, and the people who do this for a living, that's, you know, that's what they do, you know. But and I don't care. But, you know, I go because I like seeing and meeting all the cool people, and, you know, they know me, you know. not everybody can be like, oh, I know so and so. You know, there's pro anglers that know who I am and know me as me, and that's cool. I'm gonna go crash into the rocks here and get my prickly pear back. Maybe. Yep, we're gonna get down there close and personal with this branch. See, you're watching this on somebody's YouTube video. See, you're watching somebody's edited YouTube video. You don't see all that. You don't see people being normal like you, casting this shit up into treetops and into the rocks and having to go dig their baits out, They don't show all that. They don't show fishing. That's why I'm live. We're bringing you the unprofessional side. You know what I'm saying? It's fishing. Richard Gene style. He's one of my favorites. If I'm going to watch somebody, he's one of the ones I dig because, he's just old school, just go fish. But he's retired and he gets to go fish every day. Now, someday when I get to go do that, hey, it'll be cool because we just go out and we have fun, we catch them. Oh, that dragonfly was chasing my bait. Since we're kind of stuck here in the rocks, let's take this opportunity. Because that's one thing I like about my kayak is I can get right up on these rocks and sit in it, just kind of like I'm doing here now. But it's just a different style, I know Richard, he'll go out and anchor down and pick apart spots that he's, hit with his little 5-inch craft like I got here. Crappie fish and all that. And we're going to get to some crappie fishing this year too. For me, bass is bass. And I love bass fishing. So I'm trying to make up for lost time, if you will. And just catch some fish because I love bass fishing. But like that being said, we're gonna open it up. I got my youngest son and his wife that we're gonna get out here on the boat soon. Do some crappie fishing, do some bass fishing, do some bluegill fishing, have some fun. Oh, we're gonna catch a big bass. It's probably in the next 20 minutes. Somewhere between here and the end of that point, we're gonna find a big one. We're gonna get him in the boat? I don't know. But we're gonna get bit. There is always a big one or two cruising through this area. Figure out where they're at, don't know, but they're in here. They are in here. Then we're gonna go back and throw this under some docks and some of my other favorite places. I got a friend of mine from work, she's getting ready to retire here in a couple months. Sweetheart lives out here on the lake. And she's so sweet, she actually donated me some leave. She gave me a week's worth of leave to make up for like the 12 weeks that I was out. Because I was in the hole for quite a bit. She's got some docks back there and little coves of hers that I want to go fish. A lot of my peeps at work are retiring these days, getting their times and getting their pension and running. I've got 698 days as of today. I know because I looked at my retirement clock before I left. It was 699. Come on, Biggin. I know you're there. I know I've caught 4 or 5 pounders out of here. But like I said, this whole spot through here, there's some big ones lurking. You just got to be in the right place at the right time. Right place at the right time. But if you're out there following along, welcome. My name is JT, Fishing with Gramps YouTube channel. We're on Lake West Boggs in southern Indiana. Great little recreational lake here in Martin County. just outside of Lagodi, Indiana. It's pretty good bass, crappie, and bluegill lake. A lot of people love coming up here to camp. Their 4th of July celebration is absolutely fantastic. My brother Jeremy is actually going to be doing a kids fishing thing for the kids that are in the campgrounds. So that'll be cool. I'll have to figure out when he's doing that, but he was telling me about it the other day. But, you know, since it's a park local to him, and they also offer free admittance for disabled veterans, you get a pass. And it's a lifetime pass, so he can come here and fish for free. They do charge if you have a boat, but you can get an annual pass that's discounted as well. But it's nice that they offer their freedom pass. Yep, I'm throwing the Hags. I'm throwing the Hags prickly pear. I've caught 2 on it so far. We're out here hunting a giant. I've still got a couple hours before I got to go to a VA appointment. It's that time of year where I have my annual checkup, and then I have my checkup for the thing. So I'm going to be at the VA a whole bunch the next couple of months. But yeah, I got to go up today and give some blood and stuff. I think that's for my annual checkup regardless. But yeah, throwing the Hags prickly pear. Hags is in Texas somewhere. I got to remember where, but yeah, this is the Hags prickly pear. And I just keep calling them out because they're who I found in stock. And, you know, they're made here in America, so, hey, I had to give them a shout out. We're going to be trying, you know, various different ones as I get my hands on them. But for now, you know, it's the Hags. Little secret for you, too. Monster bass. Rick, he found the shop in the China who actually makes the quickie. And, yep, he's on there. They're going to be making baits for monster bass. I think they're going to call it the Grenade. But you can actually pre-order those on Monster Bass right now. Just type Grenade in the search. Yep, same baits that comes out of China for the quickie is going to be the monster bass baits. You can go on monsterbass.com, pre-order the Grenade, use code GRAMPS20. Save you 20% on your order. And I think he said those are going to come out at the mid or end of this month. Yep, there's a little tip for you. If you want the what is the term I'm looking for? The generic. You know how patents run out and then the generics are right there. If you want a generic quickie for monster bass for $10 and then save 20% on that, go to monsterbass.com and use your code GRAMPS20, save you some money. Oh, this wind is just driving me nuts. But I mean, man, we should be catching some fish. Oh, that wind has got me. It's going to blow the boat into the... Come on, boat. Got to get some control back here. That wind kind of took the boat and kept going. Trolling motor wasn't keeping up with it. I had to crank it up a little bit. But yeah, there's a little tip for you if you want a quickie that's got somebody else's name on it for $10. Monsterbass.com, type in Grenade and code GRAMPS20. That's my plug for the day. Yep, we've got the Hags right now. And I'll get my hands on some of the Berkeley ones, some of the Sixth Sense ones. I kind of showed the best storage solution for those baits at the beginning of this live. And then I shot a video on that I'll be dropping this weekend. Show you the best solution for storing these things. The dude's an absolute genius. And that's what happens when you pair up an engine with an problems. Now we got a big bluegill spawning flat in here. This is all like inches deep. I cannot believe we didn't catch one between the restaurant and that outlet, but I know where they're at. They're right over here. I've just been taking my sweet time getting there. Let's go ahead and pop this out there over this flat. See if we can catch any bass cruising, but I never really catch them over here, but I'm going straight to where I lost a giant my first trip out here this year, a couple weeks ago. An absolute giant. I'm telling you right now, I'm calling my shot. We're getting ready to go catch some bass right now because the damn bite picks up throughout the year, or it's also a good early in the morning thing, and then they back off the water. But where we're getting ready to go hit right here in a minute. Shallow next to deep with rock, and I know the bluegill are bedded up in these rocks from about that tree all the way around the point of the golf course. And then there's another bluegill spawning flat around the other side. But I generally stay out of the flats because I want to come back and catch the bluegill, snatch him up. But I'm looking for the bass that are munching on the bluegill right now. I need to get my crappie and bluegill gear together and take everything else out the boat and come over here and do some of that. Do some of that. We'll go get some minnows, get some grubs. We'll get some crappie and bluegill on. Maybe do a catch and cook. That'd be a fun full day kind of Friday thing. But today is about the prickly pear, the fuzzy baits, the urchins. I got a couple videos coming out around them. I did a video last night about using a bait casting setup, heavier duty. But the way this wind is blowing, I've actually picked up my Senko rod and gone with that because it was just too much. Plus I've got a finesse jig tied on as well. Check my messages real quick while we're staging up to come over here. Ooh, I need to check my battery levels. Yep, I need to do this right now before we start. So I'm going to put my microphone on charge, and I'm going to swap out the battery on my camera first. But I'm going to do it so we don't lose our signal. But I'm just going to let the wind throw me back towards the dam while we do this quick. So I've got my charging bank that I'm going to use to charge my microphone, but I'm also going to plug this into the current camera that I have on. Get one of my longer lasting DJI batteries out. First we're going to plug in this and make sure it's charging. You see there's the charging symbol. Open our battery door. This way we don't lose the live stream while we're changing out the batteries. One of these days I might put the camera at the back of the boat and then leave it plugged in, but I got my YOLO-Tech pole, but I gotta swap out the end that screws into my boat's power thing. Alright, so we're still streaming. We've got a fresh new battery in. We're going to go ahead and pull this out. We're going to put this battery bank down here. And we're going to wrap this cable around this. And we're going to plug it into our microphone so we don't lose the crisp, beautiful audio that is being brought to you by the Fisherman Gramps YouTube channel. If you're curious, I use the DJI Osmo 5. And then I have an Osmo 4 that's back shooting side video, and then I also use the DJI microphones, and I've got the mini and I've got some other cameras too, but this is our main boat setup. And then you guys can see right here, I can see the screen, I can see you guys chatting. We got excellent signal coming back from our Gramps net and the Starlink back there, brought to you by the Fisherman Gramps YouTube channel. I think since I can't fish any tournaments this year, I might start going to like the Indiana, the kayak, the Indiana Kayak Nation. What is it? Indiana Bass Nation, or Indiana Kayak Bass Nation. I might try to go to like some of their weigh-ins and maybe live stream those. Go to places that don't have any cell signal, where you can't, get a good live stream. Put the old Starlink to use. I'll have to see what the schedule looks like. I got to kind of keep everything open, for my appointments and stuff like that too. But, I also want to get together and fish with Jeremy and Matt, get them in their kayaks, me in the boat, get a Freedom Squad fishing day. See, I'm going to come over here and start I'm gonna skip this under this tree, and then I'm just gonna work this whole bank all the way out to the point. If you're just joining us, we've got a couple of fish on the Hagg's prickly pear, but I'm telling you right now, we're getting ready to catch some fish. Because if I know Boggs, this time of year, we are post-spawn. The bluegill are probably gonna be up on the beds in here somewhere. I expect a tap, 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 tap at some point through here. We're gonna catch some fish. That water is super skinny. I need to go ahead and back off because we just went up to no feet of water and now I'm throwing mud. Oh yeah, got myself in here a little too much, making too much noise. But yeah, we're gonna catch this bass. Fishing fam is coming right through here. I'm calling my shot. Calling my shot. Now, I say that knowing I always catch them in here on a Senko. I am going to have faith in this prickly pear that it's going to act the same way, except a little slower fall. I've been, two good fish on this morning dawn. I need to get that little chunk of grass off of there. Need to make sure I stay out shallow enough. This grass off the pear. I need to get some of like the 14, the little lighter weight ones too. I'm going to get a mix of a little bit of everything, and that way we can kind of do a full assessment on it. But I'm trying to get right up on the rocks and not in that dead grass sludge from, when they spray the lakes, because I hate when they spray the lakes. Can't really skip this like I'm used to, but I'm going to try to sneak up here and get close enough to the edges of these rocks. We're going to catch some fish. The motor turned down since we're around the corner from the wind. Trying to get these shady spots right up on the rocks. I don't know if I can skip this very well. Let's see. Oh yeah. Look at there. You got to put some ass into it. I skipped it right up on the edge. That's where you want to be, catching that fish. Catching those fish. Now we're going to go down and we're going to go back, and then we're going to motor back to where Jeremy is. But we're going to catch a fish, or 2 or 3, on this next stretch. So if you're just getting here, you got here just the right time, because there's going to be a fish around here somewhere. And I'm guessing there's going to be more than one. And then we're going to go back and hit some docks. Haven't felt any tap taps of the bluegill yet, but we'll see. I'm just letting it sink, giving it some pops. Get all them little fingers, blah, 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 blah. Whatever it is about these things that them bass love. I don't like all this dead grass back here though, not in this little spot. Kind of want to have to get up around this tree. I gotta back out a little bit because the water gets really skinny right there. All that dead grass where they sprayed drives me nuts. I want to get up under here and skip up under this tree, get under some of these overhangs. She's always pretty though, big old cat-looking toy shit. Let's get my hook reset back in there. Started to pull itself out. Oh, I got stucky in one of the little flangies. The fingers, the wigglers. All right, let's get over there and get up under that tree. Wasn't much of a skip. I'm so used to skipping Senkos that I could like throw it all the way up onto the bank from back here, but All right, let's get an angle and get right back up there to the base of that tree. Let's see if I can do this. Okay. It's almost like we've done this a time or two. It's not with this bait. right because I didn't look at the right spot. Little Gramp standing up, not falling out of the boat. I want to get off to that left side. See that shady stuff over there. So not well. Rub it. Nope, nope, nope. Don't smack the. You smack the surface, you end up with it airborne. That is not what you want. Got in a hurry. Got in a hurry. Now I'm paying the price. I had to run the boat over where I wanted to be catching fish. You get in a hurry, dumb shit happens. It's avoidable. All I gotta do is be patient. I'm just not patient. This is a nice long branch, so easy to take out there. Pull my boat in, which isn't as big as the deal as it is in a kayak because the rods are always sticking up. Right here, everything's kind of laying down, but not throwing the frog today. I've got a frog tied on. Not saying we're not gonna. I am not saying that is not gonna happen. If I catch a big fish on this thing, we're gonna go in the back and find some frog in water. We're probably gonna go find some frog in water too, but I've got to pay attention to time because I've got to leave in 2 hours for my VA appointment, which I get the feeling that's gonna get skipped, which I know I shouldn't be doing because I'd rather fish. Alright, I have pushed my nail weight through the bait, so it's got to come back out the other side. Even that up a skosh. There we go. I don't want to leave. You know, I hate having appointments on Fridays, so I gotta choose to either leave today and go fish again tomorrow. I know there's a fish along this stretch. I know there's a fish along this stretch right here in the shade. Clean rock. There is a fish. I should look at the weather if it's going to rain next Friday. I might have to skip my appointment and fishing all day. Be like, oh, I thought it was next Friday. My bad. It's just a blood draw anyway. I kind of want to get it more. See where those rocks are like in a bridge. Kind of want to get over there. Get out here a little bit, get positioned. Let's see if we can do this right. Oh yeah. Tell me there's a fish right there. Come on. Oh, come on. I know you're there. I know you're there. If you're not there, where are you? That's just silliness. Clean looking stuff. Oh. I know you're in there. Oh, there goes my back camera. I'm going to swap out the battery in that one. Here's my camera box. Here we go. Got my back camera running just in case we nab a big one. That way we have some extra footage. Beautiful bean footage. There we go. Alright, fish, where you at? Guess we are gonna have to find us a boat dock. These boys ain't hanging out in the sunshine. Of course, they should have been pinned up over there in the shade, but they weren't. Should throw the frog over the top of this stuff, that's for sure. I haven't seen any bait fish being chased either, though. So, we might have to go find some shady shade. Nobody cruising up in here in the skinny stuff. We're gonna catch a big one though. It's gonna be right. Oh, that's a little too far out. Big one. Big one. Big off the wind's carrying it. I gotta throw it more at the bank. The wind said, skipped her off to the right. So I feel like we're gonna have to go move to the back. Look at my brother over there. Can't tell. Might be that other dude that was putting the kayak in when we got here. Alright, we're gonna keep moving. We're gonna go to the back, hit them docks. Hit them docks, catch us a big one, and go to our appointment because I told my wife I'd behave. Last time I told her I'd fish till like 3 hours, and I stayed on the water for like 7 and got in trouble. So we don't want to tick off Gran. She's like, I'm not really going fishing, I'm going scouting. That's not where I want that bait. We gotta throw the bait at the bank because the wind is blowing. See the wind catch it and throw it back out. It's right up one of the rocks. Big was never getting carried out. Here, fishy, fishy. Got 3 of them out there sitting on the point. I don't know if they're crappie fishing or what. I know what they're fishing, and I'll be fishing there in another, probably towards the end of the month. The deep diving crankbait, and a football. I do want to go throw that frog though. I might go back and see if some of my old frogging stuff is in play. Because I haven't caught a chatterbait fish this year, and I haven't caught a frogfish yet. Of course, let's not pretend like I've been fishing much either, but you know. Caught 2 on the prickly pear. Happy about that. I got one of those fuzzy TRDs pulled out, tied on too, but so much gunk in the water. I think this floating over the rocks is a little bit better. There's a cast I was looking for. Come on, we're gonna catch a fish right here. Of course, the sun is right on this. Any other time of the day that I was coming through here, we'd have better angles, but it's sun's in literally the worst spot right now. So my timing is bad, because truly my timing is bad. I'm probably trying to force something which you shouldn't be doing in fishing, but maybe we'll get lucky. Find one of them big ones up here, cruising these ledges. We're gonna go across this flat. I was gonna say I should go over there to one of the eagle points, which is there's an eagle on, it's a statue of an eagle on the campground. But I see a boat right in the area that I would be fishing. Where are you at? One of you doing? Check my hook, make sure it's good. There we go. That's a better cast. Refresh the live, make sure I'm still connected. Top chat, live chat. There we go. All right, we're still good. Got to get farther. This guy's over here bluegill fishing. I see him on the spawning flat. Good place to grab some grubs, a bobber, and just tear them up. Green there, got it within a couple inches of the pin. Do some live golf commentary while we're out here. What do you say? Oh, he's running it up in. Whoa, within 6 inches of the hole. I thought I felt a little bluegill tap there, so that's a good sign. Good sign. Let's see if we can find one of these big ones trying to eat the bluegill. grab that jig and pull it off of this point too. Hey, buddy.
Hey.
What's up?
Are you busy today?
Well, I'm on Boggs, and then I got a VA appointment. Why? What's up?
Oh, fuck. You're doing what I was going to ask you if you wanted to go do.
Yeah, that's what I do on Fridays, bro. That's why I have Starlink.
Yeah, no, it's June. I should have figured you would have been out early.
Yep, we got some YouTube channel videos to make.
No, I was thinking you wanted to go hit a creek or something.
Do the one by your house?
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go throw a line in there today to finally fucking test it out. I still haven't been down there yet.
I mean, probably could. We could probably find something. I got to get off the water, go drop.
Park right off the bridge and just drop lines in right there, and that's where State's caught all of his biggest ones.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I got to go give blood, but I can drop the boat off the house and then switch out a couple rods.
Oh, maybe I could donate my for the file line.
Huh?
That would give us some cash.
Dude, you got to speak up.
Me of a way to make money.
Yeah, you got to speak up. I'm in the wind.
No, so sorry. You said giving blood and shit, and I was like, oh, I can go donate my plasma and get money.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if I'll take it because, crazy drugs, man.
Let's see, what time is it? It's 12:30. I said I was going to... Yeah. You know what? Let's do that. I'll finish up here. Like I said, I'll go drop the boat off and then grab some smallie stuff and go get blood, and then I'll just come to your house after.
Yeah, cool. Because it's literally right down the road from where we live. It's right by that church, right down the street.
Right. Yeah, I got you. That way I can get my knee brace and some shoes.
Yes, sir. Sweet.
All right. 3:30 or 4 maybe, I think.
Yeah, that should work. 3:34 sounds good. Yeah, that works perfectly.
Because then we got all kinds of time until dark. So, yeah, maybe we can catch a smallie today. I've caught one. I've got a off thing, but yeah.
I'll walk here in a minute. Take a look at how the water looks.
Yeah, because being clear is a key thing. Oh, fish! Haha, Joe Michael got me a fish.
Damn right I did.
Let's.
Live action, baby.
Yeah, I did that earlier. Oh, I didn't hit the edge of the boat either. Look at there, we got us a dink on the quakey. The hags, prickly pear. I always catch a fish when I'm on the phone with somebody, so yep. There's another dinker on the prickly pear. I knew I'd catch a fish along through here somewhere, but I'm expecting a bigger one. But I'm gonna fish till the edge of this, and then I may just do that, dude. I'll go put stuff up, grab some smallie rods, and then go to my appointment, and then come your way.
Beautiful. I'm gonna debut the Johnny Crocodile.
It's too hot for that damn thing, dude.
Where we're going, it's all in the shade, bro. Alright, yeah, I'll go walk down there and I'll shoot you a text.
Yeah, because clear water is what we're looking for.
I guarantee you it ain't gonna be that clear. It's a creek running from the road.
Well, no, but it should be clear. It's not rained in a while, and that's the key.
Alright, yeah, I'll go throw some pants.
Yeah, just go tell me if you can see the bottom, and then yeah.
I'll shoot you a picture of it.
All right, sounds good.
Alright, let me dad go catch you a bass.
Well, I'm gonna head back to the ramp now since we're gonna go chase smallies.
Better. Alright, let me dad.
And if there's nothing there, maybe we got enough time to book around in different places too.
Oh, dude, we're in Guthrie, bro. It's creek country over here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's some spots I wanted to go check from the bank there anyway, so yeah, let's go catch us a creek smallie.
Alright, love you, Daddy.
Love you too. I'll holler at you. I'll keep you posted.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. All right, there we go. I just found a reason to get on out of here, make my appointment, and then go chase some smallies with my son in a creek near his house that he's been wanting to check out for a while. So yeah. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and take this off and put it back in the box. I'm just going to cut it off the line so we can store it all together. But yeah, you guys keep an eye out for my review on this box right here from Bassfishing. And see which one. Run that right down alongside the nail weight, hang it in the rack, and boom, there we go. Yep, stay tuned for a review on this product. It'll come out this weekend. Yeah, that's the best way I found to store these, plus we'll be getting more of them too. All right. Thanks everybody for hopping in today again. If you need a good quality hat, Shelter hats. It's got the neck flap, protect your body and whatnot from skin cancer. You know, more guys, especially when you get older, you know, we're starting to deal with all the skin nonsense. And these hats, super lightweight. The breeze comes through, keeps your head cool. Again, thanks to my buddy Matt Kiefer for introducing me to Shelter hats. But they are the bomb. With that being said, we're going to end the stream and get on out of here. Go get our VA appointment done. I was almost talking myself into skipping it, but the boy wants to go catch some smallies, doing some creek fishing. So I'm gonna go get my knee brace, get my stuff done, and yeah, we're gonna go catch some smallies tonight. So watch the Instagram and so forth and so on later on to see if we do any good. But you know I'm gonna have my chesty on, so we'll make a video of that. Might even go live. You never know. Might, maybe, don't know. See how it is. Until next time, get outside where you can and make some memories. One cast at a time. Thanks for tuning in. End stream.